All right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fans Discussions. This is going to be Summerslam 1993. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Welcome. Let's get into it, man. This was the post Hulk Hogan era now officially. Thank you, Lord. The main event we were supposed to get, obviously we weren't going to. Get into that in a minute. This had the debut of the new Lex Luger and the Lex Express. No Randy Savage, unfortunately, on the card, but he comes out later.
Yeah.
It showed a lot of the young talent that they started having. Some of the matches I couldn't understand. One great Intercontinental title match. So let's just get into it. August 30th, 1993, Palace in Auburn Hills, Michigan. 23,954 fans on hand to see this one. Dark match won't get into, but it was Owen Hart, so I'll just tell you that. So he pulled double duty with his brother at ringside and also wrestled. Opening match I liked. It was the end of an era versus the guy that had his whole future ahead of him. It was Razor Ramon versus the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And man, I love Ted DiBiase, and I was really upset that obviously when we watched it live, we didn't know it was going to be his last match.
Yeah.
They originally wanted him to be in a tag match. It was going to be Razor Ramon and the 1-2-3 Kid against Money Inc.
Yeah.
Ted DiBiase said he wanted to go out in a singles match. His injuries were catching up to him. He was wrestling now about 16, 17 years. So all the blows were getting to him. So it was time for him to call it a career. Before he came back and did his $1 Million Corporation, which could have been.
It's funny. Better. I had a friend in school who adamantly told me that. Oh yeah, Razor Ramon ended his career when he gave him the Razor's Edge. That ended his career, and he broke his back.
Yeah,
I remember this, and this is in junior high school.
Yeah, a lot of kids say a lot of weird stuff,
but it was that obviously wasn't the case.
No,
good build up. I like the build up to this, man. When Razor Ramon and because Razor was a heel, and then throughout that 1-2-3 Kid thing, he starts turning babyface, and then $1 Million Man was like making fun of him, and he said that I think he wanted Razor to clean his toilets or something.
Yeah, he tried to hire him as a how Vince and Heenan put a domestic.
Yeah,
and that's what did it. That's what turned him.
Right. And then he becomes babyface, which Razor was already popular, and he was over.
It was only a matter of time before.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time
for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was a great heel to start his career.
No, he was. Mm-hmm.
But I think he was a better babyface. And what's funny is not only did 1-2-3 Kid beat Razor, which started the whole thing, but then 1-2-3 Kid beat Ted DiBiase on Monday Night Raw. Yeah. And so I thought that was cool. But this was a great opening match. 7 minutes, 32 seconds. Razor beats him. Obviously, DiBiase's gonna give the farewell there. And again, it was sad to see him go. It would have been nice to get a few more years out of him. Great competitor in the ring. Would have been nice for him to ever see the belt put on him. I still know he's got a Facebook petition going to get it, but if he thinks if he gets enough signatures that he can make his WWE title run official, but that's never going to happen. I don't care what anybody says.
No,
never going to happen.
That's funny though. That's funny.
It is. I like the fact that he's trying to do it, but
it's funny.
We know it's not going to happen. So Razor beats Ted DiBiase. His career, like I said, is now done. Razor's going to go on to bigger and better things. Unfortunately, I just wish his career with WWE would have been longer. Our next match was for the WWE Tag Team titles. It was the Steiner Brothers in their hometown versus the Heavenly Bodies. Now, I know exactly. I know that WWE had the working agreement with Smoky Mountain Wrestling, but why, in their wildest dreams, would you give these two hammerheads a title shot?
This is the sequel to these jabronis that we just spoke about in the last SummerSlam review.
Beverly Brothers.
The Beverly Brothers getting a title shot. This is two SummerSlams in a row. You got people in there that have no business challenging for the tag team titles.
You got the Head Shrinkers. You got Money Inc. You got, even though they were involved in other matches, you got the Smoking Guns. You got what's the other tag? You got Men on a Mission. Listen. You got anybody at this point other than them.
Explain to me how they're the Heavenly Bodies when they look like shit.
That one dude was missing teeth, and he's trying to be Ravishing Rick Rude. And the other
That's what I'm saying.
He's constantly messing with his hair. I thought he had lice.
Well, one of them is this guy's brother, Bruce Pritchard's brother.
Yeah, that's Tom Pritchard. Yeah,
yeah, that's his brother,
who was also Zip, by the way, in the Body Donnas.
Yes, so that explains why he got put in that position to begin with.
And again, I understand they got the working agreement with Smoky Mountain Wrestling, but you couldn't find anybody else in Smoky Mountain because I know the Rock and Roll Express were working for them at the time,
dude.
And at that point, I do not believe they were in WCW. So, I mean, anybody but them.
The tag team division starts to get really bad.
High Energy was still a thing, at least barely. Jesus. I mean, even them, I would have rather see than the Gigolo and the Gigolette over here. Some people might get that reference, by the way, from YouTube videos. Anybody but them. I never liked this team.
Anyway, I don't. Jesus Christ.
And of course,
there should have been a faction.
Jim Cornette.
There should have been a faction with Heavenly Bodies, Jeff Jarrett,
and the Beverlys,
and the Beverly Brothers. That should have been a faction. Nobody cares. The faction will be called Nobody Cares.
We'll call them POS.
Oh yeah. So anyway,
I mean, they're just Heavenly Bodies to me were always trash.
No,
I never liked them, and I will never do an episode on them. To just put it that way.
But the Steiners, one of the greatest tag teams of all time, obviously.
To me, they weren't challenged that year that they were there. They really.
Well, they came in at the wrong time. The tag team division was
yes, exactly.
Down. I did like Bobby Heenan on commentary. I did laugh when because the Steiners had gold and blue. Was it gold and blue? I think, right?
Yeah, the Michigan colors. Yeah.
And then Bobby Heenan says, "You notice? Is it a coincidence that the Steiners are wearing yellow, like cowards or whatever?" And then Vince's like, oh, "That's gold, Bobby."
You ever notice when Vince McMahon calls a match every time there's a count, he got him? No, he didn't.
Yeah.
That was good. No, I didn't. I mean, I love Vince McMahon. Respect the man tremendously, but as a commentator, he sucked.
No, he wasn't. I never really cared for Vince.
And then you got Monsoon and Jim Ross up there in the rafters doing the WWE radio.
The radio,
courses.
Mm-hmm.
You could easily have put them down there with Heenan. I mean, Heenan. Anytime Heenan's in there, it's gold.
Yeah.
To me, when Vince McMahon calls a match, 1, 2, he got him. No, he did. Every time, it just gets annoying to me. I don't know. I didn't like when he commentated.
Yeah, I mean, watching it now, but as a kid, I didn't remember.
I don't think we cared.
We didn't really care.
No. Not when it came to the commentator.
No, not really.
Now, go ahead.
No, we liked Bobby and
Gorilla
and Gorilla and also obviously Ventura.
Yes,
and
then later on,
who's underrated?
Lawler.
Who's Ventura, as far as I'm concerned, is extremely underrated.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Now, the one guy that annoyed me more than Vince during this, and you notice you didn't see him after this pay-per-view, was that new idiot, Joe Fowler. You
know what's funny? When he interviews the 1, 2, 3 kid, he says, "Yeah, I know. You're probably nervous. This is your first SummerSlam. It's my first SummerSlam." And I think in my mind, I'm like, "Yeah, and it's your last."
Yeah. And I love when he's interviewing Sean. Now, Sean, you won it, you lost it, you won it. Can you hang on to this thing? And I'm like, dude, shut up.
Yeah. Well, he didn't.
I'd rather. Where's Mean Gene in the 900 number? I know he was still there.
He didn't last very long. So
I think that was it for him. I think Vince went. God, I made a big mistake.
Proud of you.
He was just his voice. Oh man, he was too excited too. This is my first thing. I'm so excited. Yeah. Goodbye. Get out of here.
See ya.
Where's Pettingale? I'd rather hear him. In any event, 9 minutes, 28 seconds. I almost forgot we were talking about this.
Yeah, I know. We got some.
Steiner brothers win the match, obviously, because there's no way in hell Vince is putting the belts on these two jabronis, like you said. Steiner brothers were still the dominant tag team, and unfortunately, a tag teamless federation at this point because it was going down, which is probably one of the reasons, even though they had backstage problems with Vince and the production crew. I mean, there was a whole lot of reasons why the Steiners did leave, and when I do their episode, I'll go into detail about it. In any event, now, our next match, and I thought this was weird that they went back-to-back on title defenses. They didn't split it up here. The Intercontinental Championship, you got Shawn Michaels being accompanied by Diesel, facing Mr. Perfect. And I really thought at this point a record was going to be broken, and I kind of wish it would have, with Perfect winning it for the third time.
Yeah, because they made that a point that Perfect was going for the repeat, who had never been done at that point before. But at the same time, looking back at it now, you understand why the decision was made, because this was Shawn Michaels' elevation, And Perfect.
And I also think Perfect's because remember he bailed on Survivor Series. I'm starting to think that maybe, when I did the research on his episode when we do it, I didn't really find a whole lot as far as was his back starting to ail him again, because now he's been back in the ring almost a year. Was it starting to bother him? Because then he disappeared. He came back for WrestleMania. Was supposed to start a program with Luger, but never did. It was always funny that the injuries were nagging him here, but then when he went to WCW, I just thought that's funny. But at this point, anyway, you got to start wondering was it ailing again? And but he didn't put on a bad match. If something was bothering him, he fought through it. Everything was, this was a great match between the two of them, and I really would have wished that Perfect would have been a three-peater. I mean, yeah, this is Sean's ascension, but Sean lost the belt to friggin' Marty Jannetty during this time. I mean, come on. You gave the belt to Jannetty, but not Mr. Perfect?
Yeah,
really?
but that was just a quick thing.
It was a 2-month quick thing, but
yeah, but
still.
If Sean doesn't fail that test, who knows what would have happened?
Oh, the bogus test.
Sean was supposed to, well, according to Shawn Michaels, but so who knows? He was supposed to go on a run there. You don't know. They weren't going to take that belt off of him anytime soon.
You talking about when he failed the steroid test and they stripped him and Razor won?
Yeah. So.
Well, he even said, he goes, I've taken various things, but never steroids. And you got to kind of look at him and go, maybe he's right.
Yeah, but they theorized that somebody probably slipped him something. So I don't know.
Yeah, because he said he admitted to borrowing.
They were giving each other pills and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. It was like, that was the currency in poker games.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, I was a little disappointed. I thought the match was okay.
It was.
I thought it could have been a great match. I didn't,
and a great feud build up if they went forward with it.
Yeah, I didn't like because these are two of the best wrestlers of all time.
Exactly. Two of the best Intercontinental champions too.
Yeah, Diesel interfered obviously.
That took away from it.
Kind of takes away from it. I like how they had said that the winner of this match is the greatest Intercontinental champion of all time. Like it wasn't just for the three-peat. They were saying whoever comes out of this. That was kind of cool. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, but you're missing at this point. You're missing two guys that were prior two-time Intercontinental champions. And Bret Hart and the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, you want to make that argument, you got to get everybody.
But I'm saying that it's from Sean's perspective. Sean is saying, so it was cool, so it was what it was. Sean goes over.
Perfect doesn't get the record. Eventually, Razor does, and now the record's held by The Miz, and I believe Chris Jericho still is tied. With
those records don't, as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to get sidetracked. The current records don't mean anything to me. So.
Because they purposely squashed the guys from back then that busted their belts.
Yeah, and
especially Demolition.
The turnover ratio with the belts is it's so high now that it doesn't even mean anything.
It's literally ridiculous.
Yeah, so.
In any event, Shawn Michaels wins. 11-minute, 20-second match. Great match. Diesel, I don't think, should have been a ringside. There was no reason for him to be a ringside for this match. In any event, it was what it was. Shawn Michaels keeps the Intercontinental Championship. Our next match was the 1-2-3 Kid versus IRS. And this was a good match for the up-and-coming kid. I mean, he put his heart out there. I liked him better when he came back as X-Pac. I don't know, it was just something about it. He was more in the business and more of a wise ass at that point. Plus, he hated Hulk Hogan, which always is a benefit for me. This wasn't a bad match for him. IRS beats him 5 minutes, 44 seconds. Obviously, the veteran is going to get over on him. You're not going to have another upset, at least not yet. So, I mean, it was a fairly decent match. I'm not going to say it was a great match, but it was decent.
Yeah, it was all right.
I mean, it was, like I said, it's 1-2-3 Kid's first SummerSlam. It's IRS's, what was it at this point, his third SummerSlam. So, our next match was an impromptu match because we weren't supposed to get this match. It was the Hitman Bret Hart versus Doink. Yeah. Because Jerry Lawler pulls one of his infamous storylines, which gets annoying after a while, of he was in a car accident, he's got an ice pack on his knee, I hate you, Bret Hart, blah, 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 all this BS. And of all the people in the back to bring out, you bring Doink.
This is how they just ruined.
Pardon my French, but this was a shit show.
Yeah, it's just we went over this, so we're not gonna go over it too much. With how they just ruined Bret Hart after
we've covered it extensively. What Bret was supposed to do to this pay-per-view. It was supposed to be him and Hogan.
Him and Hogan for the title.
Could have also been him and Yoko instead of Luger, but
I mean, Jesus Christ. And then I don't know if you remember the Bobby Heenan at the top of the show. He said 4 titles will be on the line because the kingship is on the line. Whoever wins between Bret. Because Bret was the king of the ring and Jerry Lawler was the king. Whoever wins that is the real king, which I'm like.
Didn't they say that at the end when they announced the winner? And something like Undisputed King.
I think they do. And I'm like.
I think that was before they reversed the decision.
I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And then you have Bret with Doink, and then he hits.
So now you took his King of the Ring crown away from him and the honor of the award to give it back
remember,
to the schmuck.
Yeah, but remember so Jerry Lawler comes out and hits him with the crutch. He breaks the crutch.
Yeah, right? And it was shockingly enough, it was a 9-minute 5-second match.
Right, stinker, and then
Bret wins by DQ, and then Jack Tunney comes out, another stinker, telling Jerry Lawler if he doesn't get in the ring, he's banned from WWE. And by this point,
Bret just had a crutch broken over
exactly
his head.
Not to mention he fought a 9-minute match.
So why should he have to go out there and fight again?
Exactly, it's over. He won.
Yeah.
So and then before that, you got Bruce Hart needs to be on his Ritalin. Oh yeah, he's looking to fight anybody with throwing the water on him.
Bruce Hart was just for the camera. Whenever you put a camera in front of Bruce Hart, he really wanted to be a star. Everybody knows that about Bruce.
He wears his passion on his sleeve.
Owen's kind of like quiet. Owen's kind of there with him, kind of like.
Owen needs a fashion designer because what he's wearing, I think he's colorblind.
No,
those
the 90s,
the boots and I know 90s fashion. We lived through it. Not this.
But to be fair, they were from Canada.
Black leather pants and cowboys.
There's cowboys in Canada, dude. Canadian Stampede.
I know there's cowboys up there, but leather pants.
Look, man, I don't know. What do you want to tell you?
And that ridiculous looking shirt.
Okay.
At least Bruce Hart looked a little bit. I don't know. Owen to me couldn't dress. Well, he could when he was a heel.
Right.
So I don't want to get into any more of his fashion.
Bret Hart ends up whipping his ass, which was nice to see.
Lawler's, yes.
Yeah, he whips Lawler's ass and puts him in the sharpshooter. And then I've said this in another episode, how he kind of yanks the sharpshooter in a way that he's actually really hurting the King. And that was a receipt because when Lawler hit him with the scepter, was it the scepter? When he beat him up at the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
He hit him for real. He actually kind of hurt him, and he never apologized or anything. So Bret was like, I got something for you. When he does the sharpshooter, Jerry Lawler, you can't see it.
You notice he's all the way back.
Bret Hart says it in the book that Jerry Lawler was like telling him to ease up and that he wouldn't ease up.
And he had that on for a good, was it 7 minutes?
And that was cool to see Bret. I've never seen Bret Hart like this. Remember?
Well, we would a few years later. Yeah. But what he should have done was just, once he won the match, let it go, and then put it back on him. And then that's after match stuff where they can't reverse Shamrock did on Rock.
And they still reversed it, so it doesn't matter. To me that was stupid. He won the match.
I don't think Bret was trying to win the match. I think he was trying to send a message to Lawler. He didn't give a damn. And so he accomplished what he wanted.
Well, it was for his parents because remember he was like saying all that bad stuff about his mother.
Oh, we went through a 2-year thing with nonsense with Lawler and Hart, and I never liked this feud.
No, and I wish if you were gonna do this should have been the end of it. That's it.
Exactly. But then you brought they went to Survivor Series. Lawler had some legal stuff. He couldn't be there, so they put. Now, if Shawn Michaels is going to take over the match, why couldn't you give Shawn Michaels three actual partners?
I don't know. I don't want
instead of 3 goofballs.
I know it's just a mess. But
and then all of a sudden, Shawn's like, "Oh yeah, I remember last year," and then all of a sudden we're back in a feud. Meanwhile, you were putting this a few days ago. So then, okay, the feud is over there, but no, let's resurrect it back in '95 because come '95, we really don't know what to do with you, Bret.
Yeah,
we have to hold you back for Diesel.
Yeah, so this was
terrible. And Undertaker too. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, this was just a waste of me. So
it was, but I think in Bret's mind, he won this because he got what he wanted accomplished on Lawler.
Yeah,
6 minutes, 32-second match. Lawler wins in a reversal decision, but to me, Bret won. Yeah. Our next match was a 5-minute, 15-second match, but it was only 15 seconds of offense for the guy. It was Marty Jannetty versus Ludwig Borga. A guy that could have been pushed but was injury prone tremendously.
Yeah, he had also cut a promo on this. cut a promo on Lex Luger.
Yeah, on this. Yeah, right before the match.
So they were already setting up that feud, and he was talking bad about America.
And then he was also going to eventually, he had a feud with Tatanka.
Yeah.
Knocked him out of Survivor Series under his undefeated streak.
So he had a great look.
He did. To me, he had the face of a young, almost like a young Brock Lesnar, a little bit.
Similar features.
Not twins, but
similar.
Yeah. But this was a dominant match against Marty Jannetty. I guess Virgil wasn't available for this one.
Yeah, Marty took it.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Marty took the beating. Like I said, no offense whatsoever. This was a one-sided fight. Ludwig Borga wins by submission. It was a squash match to prove his dominance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's fine. But the guy was not even there anymore pretty much after this.
Yeah.
I think this was his one and only pay-per-view. If I'm not mistaken.
Because does he get hurt before Survivor Series, or he's at Survivor Series?
Yeah, because he was out of Survivor Series because they replaced. There was a whole bunch of replacements.
They replaced him and Tatanka.
Yeah, Tatanka was replaced by the Undertaker. Then I think one of the Quebecers was out.
He shows up at the Royal Rumble. Doesn't Borga? No,
I think he was at the Rumble. No, actually, no, he wasn't.
He replaced him with Bam Bam. With Bam Bam.
We'll get into when we get to those. We'll get to it.
Well, whatever.
It doesn't matter right now.
Yeah. So
in any event, Borga proved his dominance. He wins at SummerSlam. Our next match was a stinker in its mind because this guy he didn't look like he wanted to be there, and he was already heavy breathing 3 seconds into the match. It was a rest in peace match. The Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez. And this match, I mean, Taker was getting his butt handed to him a little bit until Paul Bearer showed up and got the urn back in his possession. But Giant Gonzalez that outfit, he went from having the fur on that to just being added into that ridiculous bodysuit.
Right. Yeah, they should have. I don't understand why they put him in that stupid body. Same thing with they did a Warrior.
Yeah, they outgrew his hair now, which again, he's not looking good.
I don't know.
He's overselling the chops and stuff not more than Shawn Michaels overselling Hulk Hogan, but he was overselling it nonetheless.
Yeah.
So, and then he doesn't even try to tombstone him or nothing to get the win.
I don't think he could. I don't think he could tombstone. He was too big.
Couldn't choke slam him either. Yeah, true.
But he could have done something. It was a cheap win. The way he jumped off the top rope.
What about doing that famous, walking the rope and doing that?
Something. I don't know. That was
something to that effect.
That was a crap ending. I don't even remember why Paul Bearer wasn't there. Did they jump him before this match?
Yeah, they said that that he was attacked and they took the urn.
Because I remember they were like, Paul Bearer's alive. Paul Bearer's alive. I mean, it was cool seeing Paul Bearer come out. I didn't mind that, but just this feud wasn't good.
I always hated when they took Paul Bearer away from the Undertaker.
Yeah, and Undertaker hated the feud. So
I don't blame him because this is another year where you're not doing anything with him.
Yeah,
you're feuding with Harvey Whippleman, who's getting these various crackheads that aren't even sticking around.
He turns heel after this, right? Giant Gonzalez turns heel, not heel, babyface. I'm sorry, he turns babyface, doesn't he?
Yeah, but what's funny is he has a house show feud after this with Randy Savage.
Yeah,
and then is gone. But he was still, even though he was babyface when he turned on Whippleman, he was still a heel when he faced Savage, and then that was it. He was gone.
But I feel like he turns babyface and he's like in a battle royal or something as a babyface. I could be wrong, but it doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't matter about him because he was there literally for a cup of coffee. And again, this second year in a row, you've done this to the Undertaker, and then 94 was a different story for him. But I mean, I thought they were just wasting him in 93 with Giant Gonzalez's feud. It was. Don't get me wrong. The initial visit between the two of them at the Royal Rumble was awesome.
Right, it was.
He didn't back down from him.
Yeah.
And stuff, and it proved that he was sort of human.
But that was the high point, and then it was just all down. It was just all downhill. All downhill from there. Yeah.
So from there now we go to Cowboys and Indians teaming up. We got the Smoking Guns and Tatanka versus the Head Shrinkers and Bam Bam Bigelow. Wasn't a bad match. That was all right. Smoking Guns were a good tag team. I always liked the Head Shrinkers. Tatanka and Bigelow sort of feuding at this point. Yeah. This wouldn't be the first time Bam Bam and the Head Shrinkers teamed up because they did again at the Survivor Series, bringing the Booger Man in there with them. But, this match was pretty good. It was 11 minutes, 15 seconds. Smoking Guns and Tatanka get the victory. It was a good showing for the Smoking Guns, an up-and-coming tag team. Head Shrinkers were, already, kind of established. Again, could have been them in the tag title match with the Steiners, but no.
Yeah, all talent. Yeah, they got a talented group of people for that match. They probably just want to get those guys on the card, but it was fine.
Yeah, grouping them together for the 6-man wasn't bad either.
Yeah,
they pulled it off. The roll up was the only problem to me. No finisher was done. They just rolled them up for the 1, 2, 3 pin. But in any event, this leads us to our main event. Yokozuna defending the WWE Championship against Lex Luger and the Lex Express, which
led up to this whole debacle.
The Lex Express, they didn't have enough time to do this, and the fans were still trying to accept him as a fan favorite, considering they just booed him at the King of the Ring when he, with Fate and Tatanka, and then a few weeks later, you're all of a sudden America's hero, and then you got 6 weeks till SummerSlam to pull this off. They did give him a standing ovation in this match. Yeah. Mainly, I think it was more Aaron Neville and Randy Savage and the whole Stars and Stripes mentality.
The Stars and Stripes theme, the arena was decorated, and I like the way that it looks. And then the arena looked nice and very patriotic. Macho Man came out in the red, white, and blue.
Did you notice Sato was there? That was Sato standing back there from the Orient Express.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I watched it recently, and I saw him. I was like, hey, that's the guy that left Orient Express that Kato had to come in. Like, they got him back because he was the representative with the geisha girl, I guess. And that dude couldn't sing for shit.
But why did they have the Japanese national anthem when Yokozuna was hailed from Polynesia, which he's really from Samoa, but Polynesia Samoa is technically part of the Polynesian islands.
I don't know, man. But the guy couldn't sing. I would have rather Nikolai Volkov come out and give us the Russian national anthem at this point.
Yeah, and then Jim Cornette is part of Yoko's team.
Yeah, he's his American advisor or whatever.
Or something, I don't know.
Some BS.
Yeah, even though Yokozuna is American, but that's not
exactly. Then you had Aaron Neville come out, which was awesome. He rocked his what did he do? The national anthem.
Yeah.
Couldn't think there for a minute. Yeah. Randy Savage looked awesome in the red, white, and blue get up, and I wish he was on the card, but whatever. So Lex comes out. It was a
Master
decent
of Ceremony, Macho Man, Master of Ceremony. Yeah,
always. Wasn't he that SummerSlam '94?
Was he?
Well, he was the host, but I mean, you had Leslie Nielsen and the other idiot from Naked Gun trying to solve the case of the Undertaker, which I'm not even.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
right, we'll get to that next episode.
I don't want to.
Yeah, so they had this build up, and then we got
the next Hulk Hogan. By the way, let's not forget that.
Yeah. So,
like you said, you put next or new in front of anything, and it's over. Now, this I really believe Lex Luger could have won the title at this and gone to WrestleMania and faced Bret Hart and had a legitimate WrestleMania 10 main event.
There's so many things they could have done going forward, but
I mean, you already dropped the belt off of Yoko once. I mean,
he was supposed to get the title. This is what happened was Vince lost confidence in him leading up to it, and he just thought, it's not the right time. Well, then why did you give him this monster push that nobody had ever gotten before? You did the whole red, white,
6 week time, yeah.
You did the whole Americana theme. Like everybody was expecting Luger to win the championship. He has this match with Yokozuna, and he wins by count out.
Don't forget the stipulation too.
He would never get a title shot.
He'd never get a title shot unless a loophole such as winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. So,
but notice everybody was getting that because then the Undertaker got that too.
And I don't even think this match was good.
It wasn't.
It was okay.
Again, he's trying to slam him in the beginning. He can't. Then all of a sudden he does. To me, what didn't make any sense is he used the forearm. He knocks him out of the ring.
Right. And
when he wins by count out, they're celebrating as if he just won the championship.
Yeah, they have
the balloons coming down, the confetti.
The wrestlers.
They're all coming out, putting him on his shoulder.
What did he do? He won by count out.
I don't see a belt on your shoulder.
You know what it's almost like? It's almost like everyone thought he was going to win. And so they're like, oh, no, he's going to actually win the belt. And they were like, oh, notation. Oh, he wins by count out. And they didn't change anything around that. Like whatever they had initially planned, that big celebration for him winning the title, they just didn't. They just left it in there. It's like because we've never seen that. We've never seen that ever. And it looked like shit, to be honest with you, because I'm like, what did he do?
He didn't do anything. He won a match
by
count out, but you didn't win the title. You now don't get another title shot, which doesn't make any sense. So you built this guy up for what? To have a main eventer or a guy that could be in the main event spot, but you're not going to do anything.
Win by count out. It's not like Yoko hadn't lost before. Hogan beat him.
Yeah, I don't understand this.
So he wasn't undefeated.
No, because at this point he's a 2-time WWE champion. So I mean, he has his one loss.
You've gone over this in the Lex episode. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the description for everybody. Our Lex Luger, what went wrong. Yeah. But overall, SummerSlam '93,
It was the start of the new generation on Ico Pro with Vince's steroids. I don't know. It took a while before they got good again. Yeah, I mean, SummerSlam '94 had a great WWE title match, but overall wasn't all that good. '95, I mean, it took a while before it built up again.
Yeah, no, it took some time. It was a transitional period, but you still had the talent on that card.
You did.
You still had the talent, and so you
had Razor, you had Shawn on there, you had Brett, you had the Undertaker.
Yeah,
you had those guys. They're just not.
And Yoko was a monster heel.
Yes.
To be fair, Diesel, I don't even know if he had wrestled a singles match at that point. He was still Shawn's bodyguard, so can't really put Diesel in there. On paper, he's there on the roster.
He started his dominance in '94.
Yeah. He wasn't ready yet, but you still had Yoko was a monster heel.
Yeah.
You could have done so much better with him. Like I said, if you're gonna do what you're gonna do, you have to have Lex win the title. I'm sorry, you have to. Even if he loses the title the next night on Raw or at the next pay-per-view, you can't have that build and then give it. No, you can't. You can't do that. You can't. That's terrible.
You just ruined it.
That's terrible booking, man.
But was that their plan? That's the thing. I mean, like you said, Vince gave up.
No, Vince changed his mind right before.
See, that's the thing, and he's been known for that. And I don't understand it. And again, he should have came out of there the champion, and we should have got the WrestleMania 10 should have been built up for Lex and Brett. I mean, I'm not unhappy with what we got at WrestleMania 10 because we got to see the Brett Owen Hart. If you had Lex and Brett just originally scheduled, we wouldn't have gotten that. So I mean, he should have been the champion. Again, like you said, even if he lost it down the road. Would you have considered making Yoko a 3-time champion? I'm not so sure they would have. But
I don't know. The shame of it was supposed to be Hulk Hogan versus Bret Hart for the title.
Exactly.
Hogan as the champion, Bret Hart versus Hogan, the passing of the torch. Bret Hart was supposed to go over on Hulk Hogan. That's what we would have gotten it. That would have been a tremendous main event.
Exactly.
Tremendous.
Especially with Bret beating him.
Yes. And Bret would have put on a great match.
They both would have. I mean,
I'm just saying, you could count on Brett, like no matter what.
Oh, no doubt.
It's going to be a great match. So,
but Hogan lied, got what he wanted, got the hell out of there.
That doesn't work for me, brother. That's what Hogan said.
Because what didn't he say later on? I couldn't see losing the title to a little man
because he was too small. It wasn't believable.
Please.
So he loses it to an exploding camera. But anyway,
who was Harvey Whippleman, by the way, allegedly?
So
allegedly,
yeah. Well, we could be here forever trashing Hogan and trashing.
Oh, trust me, we got plenty of episodes to do that.
So, you guys, let us know what you think about SummerSlam '93. It does get better. We'll be doing SummerSlam 1994 next. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.
Take care, guys.